King's Secret.
One night, after the Malentane festivities were over, I was dragging my feet, apathetically making my way to the tavern to get drunk and sleep through the next day, to not have to think about the tragedies that befallen our kingdom. In a soulless street, a couple of hooligans with their faces covered with hoods ran up to me and clubbed me over the head. When I came to my senses, with splitting headache blurring my vision, I found myself on a cold floor of what appeared to me as a torture chamber. Countless mechanisms and contraptions around me used to deliver the most gruesome of torments to a person's body, to get all the answers from them you could possibly want, or just to punish them, make them suffer in agony, far from the place I could ever want to find myself trapped in. There was a wooden rack with mutilated corpse of someone still attached to it, with limbs ripped out of its body, still tied at each end with rollers underneath it. That device, when someone is spinning the lever and the mechanism pulls all the limbs of the person attached to it in 4 different directions, stretching out the body to its maximum capacity until it bursts as a bubble. And I've also noticed an Iron Maiden in the corner, a tall cabinet that fits a person inside, spoken of its tales and feared by many, with a gruesome head and unfortunate spikes lining the interior walls of it, piercing the skin of an inhabitant as soon as it closes. There was a huge pool of relatively fresh blood underneath it, making it seem as if someone was still entrapped in there. Horrendous sight, my dear. Despite my utmost courage, I can shamefully admit that my pants were soiled in urine, out of sheer tremendous fear, as I was expecting the same fate to be imposed on me in that very room. After hours of trembling and terror, chained to the floor, cold to the bone, 2 men walked in, put a sack over my head. Non-ceremoniously, they removed the chains and lifted me up, forcefully dragging me away, taking me God knows where. When the cover was taken off my head and the bright natural light spilling down gargantuan windows burned my eyes, only through a necessary squint I could tell I was in the throne room. On the throne, instead of the lovely King Julius, was sitting some sort of unfamiliar shadowy figure that was outside of the light's graces, fully cloaked in dark fabrics and hiding its face. My head could have been concussed and still ringing from the hit it took, but I did trust my eyes fully. It was an imposter. No way in hell this could have been our glorious king before me, a figure much slender, less imposing, sickly even. No, my friend, Julius the Invincible does not have any resemblance to this charlatan, and I bet the attire was to hide the fact that it was someone else, spinelessly disguising its identity. Before my perusing mind could roam any further, the strange silhouette started to address me, asking me all kinds of questions about who I speak with, what I discuss, this and that, but I didn't let on, my friend, denying everything, standing my ground strongly despite my soiled pants and shaky legs. The stranger seemed to me a woman dressed in men's garbs, trying to lower her tone of voice to make it sound more manly. But you can't trick the wittiest trickster with these cheap ruses. I saw right through the smoke, my dear. After the folk king stopped with her line of questioning, before I could plead my case or beg for mercy, another unexpected hit struck me on the back of my head. When I came to my senses, I was laying down in the same alley where I was picked up at, but with a colossal headache to match. After a few days of pondering it over, thinking of who that person was, I can announce it with determination and massive sorrow that our beloved king is dead. Yes, my friend, you heard me correctly. I can't help but shed these tears for him. I'm not making a mistake here. There is no other way around it. Please don't interrupt me, my dear. Let me finish. This lecherous impostor slayed our king in the most dishonorable of ways when the king was asleep in his chamber, and in secret this regicide made a claim to the throne and the kingdom. Yes, my friend, I'm sure of it, and if you ask the identity of this scoundrel, I have an answer for it too. This perpetrator is the bastard daughter of our magnificent king, pretending to be a man, the only one to have an opportunity to get this close to the wisest king, Crawling out of her cave she was hiding in all her life, and dying for riches and glory she never deserved. The unacceptable audacity of hers. He must have had this bastard before the king wedded the great lady Eleanor, when the king was still a young boy and didn't know any better, by accident. And now this devious offspring has brought ruin to the whole kingdom. This deceitful impostor sitting comfortably on the throne that never belonged to her disloyal buttocks, ruling over all of us as we don't know left from right. Who does this rascal take us for? A bunch of fools? What are we to do, my friend? The devil of a daughter is pretending to be the king, and the nobles are disappearing. The good people of the kingdom are being tortured and executed unjustly, as if we are some farm animals. I'm not going to let it be. I'm going to tell everyone. We will rise. We will deliver justice in the name of our beloved King Julius, the one and only true leader. In the name of God, I will save this kingdom.
King's Secret.